cyclical hormones are for females. So men tend to have a cycle of hormones around 24 hours and then it repeats every single day.
Correct.
Women, it's obviously so different. It's usually around 28 to 35 days.
What's up, everyone? Maurice here, and welcome back to yet another episode from Carnivore Diet app. And today I have my good friend Brittany Ford. Brittany is a registered holistic nutritionist, a biohacker, and podcaster. She loves experimenting with various techniques and tools to reach optimal health so she can put her best foot forward daily. She focuses on educating people about holistic health, healing digestive and hormonal issues, and how to thrive in your busy, stressful life. She's been working in the health field for over 9 years and first found her love for natural health through her own digestive issues. Brittany, how are you?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Good to see you here. And as discussed earlier, with the audience. Wanted to actually ask you a few questions in regards to your background and your biohacking. You've been going at it for many years right now. Just to kind of dive in deep into this right away. So tell us a bit about your holistic self-care approach.
Yeah, so like you said, I've been biohacking for quite a few years. Biohacking without even really knowing it was called biohacking. It was just more of like holistic self-care practices.
Yes.
And now people call it biohacking, and it's like this group of practices, I guess. But basically, I got into it by having my own health issues that I had to figure out. I went to my doctor and they basically said nothing was wrong with you. And I kind of just went on this whole journey of self-healing through nutrition and natural medicine and different remedies, and was able to kind of get rid of the symptoms and signs I was dealing with,
Okay.
and just fell in love with natural health basically at that point. And that was about 10 years ago. And then it's just kind of grown. And I've really just loved the different self-care practices that you can do that really help support the body. So like cold therapy, which includes like cold showers and ocean swims and ice baths, and then hot therapy or heat therapy, which is like saunas, and or like infrared saunas and infrared light, and just all these different things that you can do that really support the body, really support your mental health,
Okay.
and really help you reach optimal health and maintain optimal health. And that's kind of what I've learned, I'd say, in the last 3 years, is staying optimally healthy requires more than just focusing on the food that you eat. And it's more than just how you exercise in a gym. It's really this whole approach, holistic approach. People are more than just one parts of them. They're a whole being. So you have to treat your health in the exact same way. And that's how I've found the best results.
Okay.
I've had clients find the best results as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Okay. So you've been doing this for the past 10 years, and pretty much, of course, the biohacking just kind of fell into your hands while you're actually, practicing with the holistic self-care and the approach. And of course, everybody almost starts like they're actually going after their own symptoms. And
Totally.
as soon as you actually see so much improvement, you say, well, hell, I'm gonna actually offer the same type of practice to some of the audience to assist them in their health as well and their cognition. And I guess that's how pretty much everything fell in your hands.
Yeah, honestly, like so many healthcare practitioners, the same way, like they had issues, they healed themselves, and then they fall in love with it, and they're like, I'm going to do this for other people, and I'm no different. Exact same thing has happened to me. Health and nutrition and biohacking, natural health is like my biggest passion. I couldn't not care about it even if I wanted to. It's like I just love it so much. So
No, that's awesome. That's really awesome. So, are you able to share with the audience about biohacking your menstrual cycle?
yeah, so this is something that I have played around with in the last year. Just reading different things and realizing how cyclical hormones are for females. So men tend to have a cycle of hormones around 24 hours and then it repeats every single day.
Correct.
Women, it's obviously so different. It's usually around 28 to 35 days. Our hormones shift and change. And the way that a female is on day 1 of her menstrual cycle compared to day 14, compared to day 28, she's so different. What she looks like, the energy she gives off, how she feels, how her skin is, how her digestion is, how her hormones are, how she sleeps, stress, all these things. And kind of when I realized that, I realized there's different things you can do to uplift different parts of your menstrual cycle.
Okay.
And there's just different ways to respond to the changing hormones and really optimize each stage. So, for example, if we were to talk about fitness, right? So when you're ovulating around day 14 is like, that's when you can get pregnant. You have the most energy you're going to have in your whole cycle. Your body is prime. You're attracting people. Most of the time you even look more, your skin is glowing. All of these different things are happening for biological reasons and primitive reasons. So fitness-wise, in that time frame, you want to be doing things that are really hard. You want to be doing things that require a lot of energy. So things like spin class, a boxing class, things that are going to push you. Now, 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, when you get your period, you're not going to be doing the same things. And every female listening to this will know this. You are tired. You're more inward. You want to stay home. You want to take care of yourself. You want to do hot baths. So you're not going to go to a spin class on those days. You're going to do things like yoga or maybe hot yoga or stretching. So it's just kind of like that idea of living with our cycle in order to be more productive and be healthier.
Okay. So I've noticed on your website you actually have a free download for the audience. Can you tell us a bit about that and how can people access it?
Yes. So I created this for myself a year ago, and then I kind of promoted it a bit online and people wanted it. So I put it online. It's still free. It is a chart. It's a cheat sheet. And basically it's one page. It goes cycle to what to eat, what supplements you should be having, how you're feeling, exercise, where you are with the moon. It also talks about seed cycling. It's basically like a cheat sheet for your menstrual cycle.
Okay.
And it has helped me so much. It helps with reducing PMS. It helps with regulating your cycle. It helps with getting your period if you're not getting your period. And just like different symptoms that women have. So acne, mood swings, bad sleep, that sort of thing.
Okay, that's awesome. That's really good. Now, what is your current daily intake of food, supplements, and hacks you practice on a daily basis?
Yeah, so this is a big question. Let's start with food. Okay. So ever since I had my health issues and healed them, I've basically been paleo on and off, but mostly paleo for about 9-10 years.
Okay.
And I've played around with keto. I've played around with high fat. I haven't played around with carnivore. I would. I'd like to try it. But yeah, so basically I've been about paleo and mostly sticking to paleo because I just agree with a lot of the thing is it doesn't necessarily matter what diet you choose to do, whether it's vegan or carnivore or paleo or whatever. A lot of them, or if not all of them, have very similar core beliefs and core practices. And that includes no processed food, no sugar, eating whole, real food that either comes from animals or comes from the ground. And even if I just stick to those practices, I feel good and my symptoms are low. So that's kind of where I come from. I come from a real food standpoint. It tends to be paleo, but as long as it's real food, I always ask clients, pantry more full or is your fridge more full? Your fridge should be overflowing, whether it's plants or meat or animal products. Yes. Your pantry should not be overflowing with cookies, crackers, cereal, pancake like batter boxes, whatever. It should be your fridge. So that's kind of where I stick to. And then supplements. Oh my gosh, what am I having for supplements right now? I have cod liver oil
Okay.
because of the omega-3s, the vitamin D, and the vitamin A that's in it.
Okay.
I have a prenatal multivitamin I'm taking, not that I'm pregnant. This is, I'm playing with this. I have one that is food-based, and I really like the nutrient ratios in it for females. So I've been traveling a lot over the holidays, and I thought I would just try taking that instead of taking a bunch of different supplements while traveling. And then what else do I take? I take extra vitamin D, and I take magnesium for sure. I take zinc on and off, especially when I feel like I'm getting a bit sick. And well, I'm trying to think of like my little pot that I put my things in every morning. But it really changes as like what I need, right? Like sometimes I'm taking 10 things a day, sometimes I'm taking 3 or 4. Depends how I'm feeling. I have digestive enzymes, I have probiotics, I have like the core things stocked at all times in case I need them. Yeah, and then for hacks, oh my gosh, so
That's probably so many.
there are so many. What I'm doing right now, I'll talk about the morning. So the morning I use red light therapy. I
Okay.
have a red light device. It's probably about like this big, like head and neck, and it hangs from my door. And in the morning, I will try to do 15 to 20 minutes of red light therapy. And I'll be doing this while I'm drinking my water. I always drink water first thing in the morning, about a liter with vitamin C. And so that's what I'm doing in that. And that really just helps with joint pain, muscle pain, it helps with skin. A lot of people say it helps with acne. A lot of people say it helps with collagen formation. The thing with red light therapy, though, is because they are devices that are sent to people's homes, they
Yes.
are a lot less strong than if you go to a clinic and get it done there, which means that you need to be doing it daily for about 3 months to notice a difference on your skin. So it's just a daily practice for me. And then other hacks I'm doing is like sauna, probably 1 to 2 times a week. I
Okay.
love that. I find that it's just really good for my skin. It's really good to detox. And it's just really relaxing too. I find I reduce a lot of stress sitting in the sauna, which I love. And then in the summer, I kind of like go through phases of hacks. In the summer, I do like ocean swims because I live right by the ocean. Especially in the morning, like the cold water feels really good. So it changes, and I have like a whole bunch that I kind of rotate. So
No, that is really awesome. So from what I'm getting at is you don't just focus on one thing. You actually change it based on the season, based on the environment, based on the toxins you're being approached. I like the idea that you actually mentioned about the food, that it's not just one diet fits all. It's not just everybody. I respect everybody, whether they're on a vegan diet, paleo, ketogenic, or carnivore. I think their all diets are the same, like you mentioned. It's just your main focus is eliminate all the processing, all the processed food,
yeah.
and automatically your body will start to go into homeostasis, start to actually go into a healing phase, which is great that you actually mentioned that. And in regards to the supplements, I think in every diet there's always deficiencies, just because we cannot compare how we used to be 10,000 years ago or 20,000 years ago, the amount of nutrients we used to get from our food. So there is some type of deficiencies. So supplements, they do play a role, but I
Yeah.
always tell this to everybody, never really supplement blindly. Do specific testing, find out exactly what you're deficient in, and replenish. So therefore, you're constantly in a proper performance level. You're not really feeling one day fatigue, one day depressed, or one day you can't even function at all. So
Mm-hmm.
so that these are my favorite two. And every actually person or every influencer I talk to, they always talk about my favorite supplement. I'm really really attached to magnesium, and I
Yeah.
think maybe out of everybody I consume maybe quite a bit more than 1200 milligrams daily, and I actually find it does help quite a bit, and I highly recommend it for a lot of people who tend to consume a lot of protein, because sometimes when you overconsume so much protein, you actually create a deficiency in magnesium as well too. So I highly always push that one quite a bit. Now moving on to our one of our last question here. Now, usually this last question always comes from the audience, and as an audience, one of the followers said, "I tend to crave certain foods, have emotional eating, or don't feel full after a large meal." What is your recommendation in regards to that?
Yeah, I mean, who hasn't been there, honestly? Like, I wonder, I'm curious to the food that this person actually craves, because that says a lot about imbalances that are happening in the body. So, for example, if you're craving sugar, usually that has to do with dysbiosis happening in the gut.
Okay.
People who have an overgrowth of bad bacteria in the gut, especially candida, tend to crave sugar more. And I know that because I've dealt with that. And when I've been able to balance out my gut flora, so having a good amount of guys to bad guys, sugar cravings go away. My sweet tooth goes away. And people are sometimes surprised to hear that when it comes to sweet tooth, like a sweet tooth, you can actually get rid of it. It's not something that you've always had and you'll always have it. You can actually get rid of it. There's a reason it's happening. There's a root cause to why it's happening. So it depends what the person is craving. So if they're craving salt, that is an indication usually of adrenal fatigue.
Okay.
That means that most of the time people are overworked, overwhelmed, feel like they kind of have a lack of control over their life, and they're craving the salt to stresses that are happening, whether it's work, personal, maybe they're over-exercising. There's different types of stressors. So it says a lot about you and what you're dealing with, depending on what you crave. And then not feeling full after meals, once again, like, what does your meal look like? Like, what do your macros look like?
Okay.
How much protein are you having? How much vegetables are you having? Starchy vegetables versus non-starchy vegetables? And how much fat are you having? Most of the time, if you are getting enough healthy fat in your meal, you're going to feel full afterwards. Every salad that you add avocado to and olive oil to, maybe there's goat cheese in there, maybe there's eggs in there, I don't know, whatever, you're going to feel full afterwards. So it's like, as a general idea for that, I would say how much fat is in every single meal that you're having. And by fat, of course, I mean good fat. I don't mean like fried anything. Of course, yeah. I mean like the good stuff. So that's kind of the questions that I would say. I mean, of course, we would have to talk further about the things that the person is dealing with, but yeah.
No, okay. So pretty much as you always kind of go one step further, investigating exactly what the audience or that specific client is all about, what's happening in their previous diet, what they're consuming, and of course, like you mentioned, what are they craving, sweet, salt, and pretty much you break it down from there. And and the cool thing is, in every diet, if there isn't enough fats in the diet, like a proper clean fats, a person is never satiated. They're always picking and choosing. Well, what should I have after? Their mind is constantly going over food, which is drives them insane and crazy, and they can't stop from eating anymore.
Exactly.
No, awesome. I really appreciate your time. It was a pleasure meeting you as well, Brittany. Now, for our audience, if they want to get a hold of you or reach out to you for some assistance and or look up the menstrual cycle or any of the free downloads you offer on your current website, what other ways can they reach out?
Yeah, so my website is biohackingbrittany.com. The free download PDF is right on the home page. And it's also on the shop page as well. It's really easy. If you have trouble downloading it, just email me and I can support you. My email is info@biohackingbrittany.com. Super easy. If you want to work together, I am putting together a new client program. Program, and it is launching very soon. And basically, I work with clients for 3 months because I find the best results that way. It's about 90 days, and really it's about reaching optimal health and leveling up and maintaining that.
Okay.
And usually you need about 3 months to figure out the root cause of the symptoms that you're dealing with, start to heal it, start to support it, and then start to see results. And that's what's worked best for me. So that new program is coming out very shortly. If you're interested in coming on the program, I have limited spots available just because I work with clients one-on-one, and it's a lot of energy and time for a very small amount of people that I help. But shoot me an email. You can come onto my wait list. I would love to have you, and we can chat and do a discovery call. And yeah, just shoot me an email. I also have a contact form on my page if you want to go through there as well.
Awesome. Hey, thanks so much for the information. Really appreciate it. And of course, our audience appreciate your time in this and answering the questions, and we'll definitely touch base.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.